Folks, something's wrong. We need to ask ourselves, what's happened to the man we once knew as Dainsleif? What do I mean? Close your eyes and imagine yourselves in the jungle, where the trees close like ribs and the earth remembers every sin spilled upon it. You are there to hunt the most dangerous thing, a colossus of flesh, 7 feet tall, swollen with hunger. It's a cannibal that rejected the laws of society and crowned itself king of its own cruelty, killing many. It eats mothers. It eats names. And yet, you do not hunt this beast alone. At your side walks one who knows this beast far better than you ever could, for this monster was once this man's father who devoured his mother. He swore an oath beneath indifferent stars that he would end this beast once and for all. He made vengeance his breath, and so complete was this oath that you would not have known the beast existed had he not told you about it. Many moons pass, and eventually your hunt bears fruit. You find the thing at last, bodies hanging from its neck, its mouth wet, blood clinging from it. Your spine tightens, your hands remember how to kill. You raise your weapon, your heart beating with the drumbeat of survival. You turn to your companion, hoping they're ready too, and you see it. Your partner does not see a monster, they see a past. They see what was and not what stands before them now. He hesitates, and the beast smells it. In a blink, the cannibal surges forward, bones snap, necks break. You're both dead. So hear this, my people. When you are trapped in the foxhole of war, staring into the faces of beasts, human or otherwise, you must choose who stands beside you with care bordering on paranoia. You need those with absolute conviction, those who do not tremble when the past begs for mercy, those who, even when cursed to lose their memories, will remember the names of traitors carved into their souls who've wronged them and their nation.
There's still hope for the two of you to reconcile. Irreparable damage has not yet been done. The sinner you wish to know about, his situation is different. He and his fellow sinners have long betrayed me, and long betrayed their nation. There were 5 of them, the 5 sinners of Khaenri'ah. The wise, Roptatyr. The visionary, Vedrfolnir. Gold, Rhine-daughter. The foul, Surtalogi. And racher of Solnari, Rerir. No matter how eroded my memory may become, I will never forget their names. One day, I shall have my vengeance.
Those who will slay their former teacher 100 times over as penance without flinching, without nostalgia, and without apology.
俺を欺いた報いに、もう100度死ぬ覚悟はあるんだろうな。
What you must never allow at your side is someone who can do all of this and still hesitate when the moment demands blood.
So, do you plan to fight him with us? You see, you're torn.
This change in attitude in old Dainsleif has always struck me as odd. How did Dain go from someone who swore vengeance? I mean, this guy, his memory is going, but he himself said he will never forget the names of the sinners and will have his vengeance. I mean, hell, look at his attitude when he first met Skirk. And Skirk's thoughts on the encounter.
At one time, he was Master's rival. At another, they were best friends, apparently. I had hoped he might give me some more information about Master, but the moment he recognized my style of blade work, he got very agitated and demanded to know Master's whereabouts. I don't want to deal with him. Hopefully I don't run into him again anytime soon.
Agitated. Why did this Dainsleif fade away when actually confronted with a sinner for the first time since the Cataclysm? The answer most certainly would appear to be, Rerir is different. Dain himself told us, unlike the other 4, he never knew what happened to Rerir that caused him to change so rapidly.
Of the 5, Rerir is the only one who remains a mystery to me. He never harbored grand ambitions. So what changed in the space of a single night? How did he come to fall like the others?
In other words, you're saying that his change came as a shock to you, and you have no idea what actually happened?
That's right.
And when he came to learn of Rerir's past thanks to Nefer, suddenly his vengeance bore a consciousness that caused him to hesitate when confronted with the question of if he'd fight Rerir. Not even kill or permanently stop some other way, but just fight a being made entirely of abyssal energy whose very existence caused the wild hunt to exist, which has claimed the lives of many.
So, do you plan to fight him with us? You see, you're torn. Now you know what really happened. You see the things he's done in a new light.
I need some time.
Of course. I completely understand. Anyone else in your position would feel conflicted too.
Slow your roll. I don't know about all that. I think even a simpleton can understand a tragic past may explain how a monster was born, but it does not change what that monster chose to become. Suffering is common, mass murder is not, and in Rerir's case, the appeal to tragedy feels especially hollow to me. Rerir was never a good man who simply fell from grace. Even before becoming a sinner, he was an assassin who carried out a genocide at the king's command, and funnily enough, Dainsleif never confronts this aspect of Rerir's past, not because it's irrelevant, but because doing so would force Dain to confront his own complicity, or, maybe he just doesn't care, bro, because Dain was a member of the royal guard, and Dainsleif knew the true nature of Rerir's work, and allowed it to happen. Hell, the motherfucker sounded horny by it.
So, are you planning to come clean about your job then? I'm guessing you still haven't told her.
Sure, I'll have to tell her at some point. But I'll need to pick the right time and place. To be honest, I have no idea how she'll take it.
Come on, stop being such a pessimist. For all you know, she could be thrilled. I bet she'll be much more impressed by your actual job than the one she thinks you're doing now.
My main problem with Dainsleif's hesitation is that he begins valuing motives over outcomes. Rerir's reasons, however tragic, do not undo the thousands of deaths he's responsible for. Worse still, who Rerir was no longer even matters. In the modern day, he's not a human anymore. He's this immortal, undying, abyssal entity whose very existence endangers everything around him, a fact Dainsleif understands better than most given his extensive knowledge of the Abyss.
Without the power of the Abyss on his side, he almost certainly would have perished the moment he was torn apart. But the Abyss, much like a curse, has kept him alive.
I could not agree more. The power of the Abyss is most surely a curse.
Yet the moment Dainsleif learns that Rerir's actions were motivated by love, his empathy, I guess, temporarily overrode his judgment. The seeming tragedy of Rerir's intent in his eyes began to eclipse the reality of his consequences, and Dain's compassion becomes selective. Folks, a sad past may evoke pity, but it cannot be allowed to function as absolution. For Dain to hesitate here is some bullshit. It's valuing the feelings of a monster over the lives that monsters erased. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Now, in the end, did Dain help? Yes, but man, how many times are we going to run this race? What happens when we confront the wise, Raptatir, or the foul, Sertologi, and, they reveal some fucking bullshit Dainsleif never knew about that frames their descent into chaos in a new light? Will Dainsleif again hesitates? Well, again, Dain said Rerir was different, making it sound like this was a one-off. I don't believe him! Straight up, I don't believe him, bro. Can't trust a Conran. No. If Dain can hesitate now when the threat of Rerir was undeniable, the whole of nod-krai, if not teyvat, in danger, I've no reason to believe he wouldn't hesitate again in the future. Dainsleif against the sinners is no longer a safeguard, folks. It's just a variable. And if Dain's justice depends on whether the villain's past is sympathetic enough, then Dain has no justice at all and no reason to speak of vengeance.